The former body positivity TikToker Clara Dao has somehow hit yet another new low and has now decided to start an OnlyFans. Now let's take a trip down memory lane to the latter end of last year where I spoke about this girl after she built her career and gained millions of followers from talking about life as a flat-chested woman. She encouraged young women to embrace their natural chests and bodies and publicly declared that plastic surgery doesn't work. And then, out of nowhere, posted her boob job to her dedicated fan base. A fan base of which, by the way, was built upon the premise of embracing one's natural body. She then, after facing backlash, made a YouTube video about how she didn't get a boob job because she was insecure. No, that would be a ridiculous statement to make. She actually got one for fun.
I wanna have fun, I wanna do other things.
Yeah, there's nothing more fun than going under the knife, having your body slit open and having silicone shoved under the skin. What a fun experience. Forget playing games or frolicking in the park with your friends. Plastic surgery, right? Cosmetic alterations is where the fun is at, yeah? Anyway, she lost loads of followers, stopped the body positivity content, and naturally ever since has kind of fell off the radar. Until, my friends, very recently, she seemed to launch an OF. Now, I thought to begin with that it was rage bait. Upon doing as much research as I feel mentally okay to do, it's not rage bait. So, yeah. I suppose when you completely get cancelled for misleading your audience by gaining loads of followers under the premise that you embrace your natural body because plastic surgery isn't the way forward, and then you get plastic surgery and you can't even be honest that you've done it because you're insecure, I guess when that happens, there's no way but down. And you might as well, you might as well start selling your body on top of that. Yeah? Oh, it's really not good. I'm not going to play the audio for that fully because I don't know if I'm going to get copyright struck, but there's so many things I want to say about this. First of all, the bubble blower needs to go. Okay, you're not a child. And look, yeah, alas, I am sat in a room full of collectibles, right? Before anyone wants to try and point out the so-called double standards. But, the difference is, I'm not here to sell my body. I'm not here to talk about my job now as a bot. There's just something so weird about women selling their OF under this kind of character of being a empty-headed girly pop who has nothing going on in her brain. What, like a kid? Like a child? With the bubbles and stuff. It's just weird, I'm sorry. And again, usually when I point stuff out like this, people think they're eating so hard to say things to me like, girl, aren't you sat in a room full of toys, right? The difference is I'm not shooting myself online, so it's not really relevant, is it? I don't care if you want to be blowing all these bubbles and having fun. Why are you pairing this with the sentence, my brain cells since becoming a bot? Basically, the joke here is that since becoming a bot, she's got no brain cells left. It's actually really misogynistic, which is funny because you're saying this about yourself. You're calling yourself empty-headed. Now, I'm not going to say anything about that. I haven't got any comments on that. But it is interesting that you would describe yourself that way. Like you're some airhead now that you sell your body and have big tits all of a sudden. It's just so strange. Where was this attitude before? You weren't like this before. And I think you're kind of giving into that stereotype that women with big breasts are just that, women with big breasts, and are just boobs, essentially. Like that kind of trope where it's like the bimbo with big boobs and a bit airheaded, that kind of harmful stereotype. It's like you're playing into that for what? And it's interesting because none of this content, she didn't do any of this content before when she had a flat chest. So either this is a fake bit to sell her OF, or she's just, I don't know what this is. It's just weird. My brain cells. Yeah, okay. Why are we infantilizing ourselves? Why are we doing this? We've seen this too many times, mate. We get it. I'm so young and small and naive and innocent, and my brain cells are just all over the place, and I sell my body, and that's the appeal. We'll never make it out the patriarchy, okay? I'm gonna have to blur that. Thank you. I'm not gonna play the rest. In case you didn't get the joke, she's got someone she knows to pretend that they don't know each other while he's looking at her OF. It's a way to promote her OnlyFans. Someone said in the comments, this is so fake. No offense, mate, but I think that one's a given. Yeah, that's the point. It's a little bit of marketing. And the sad part is she will be making a lot of money. That's the sad part here. Because men are easy. And I really don't know what to say. There's not much to say, is there? Doing fake skits to promote your OF. Wow, you've really stooped to a new low. Okay, first of all, it was building a lovely, lovely community of people who have been encouraged to embrace their flat chest because a lot of women are born that way. I think in your own words, you say that plastic surgery doesn't solve problems, it actually creates more in the long run. Not only did you do that, which I think already is a pretty big thing, but then you lied and said that you got plastic surgery because it's funsies. Oh, funsies. I guess that plays into that I'm such an airhead trope she's trying to do. Oh, I just did it for fun. Funsies. A lot of people said to me when I did the video about Clara the first time, why do you care so much? Why do you care so much what she does with her body? It's not that I care that she got a boob job. Okay, we could go into the ins and outs of the ethics of plastic surgery. We could do that, but I don't think it really is important in this conversation because I think it's also important to note that when I'm talking about stuff like this, I'm not saying that it's women's fault for feeling the pressures of society and giving in to plastic surgery, right? But what I am saying is it is your fault to tell your impressionable audience that you got plastic surgery for fun and not because you didn't like your body. There's nothing wrong with being honest that you didn't like your body and, you know, no matter how hard you tried, you just didn't want to feel this insecure anymore. Now, yeah, you probably would have still got hate, but unfortunately that happens when you build your platform on a certain set of principles. It would be like if I built a huge platform off of what I talk about and then I dropped an OF at 1 million subscribers and then I told people, why do you care what I do with my body? That's such a straw man of an argument. Nobody is saying that she's a demon just because she got a boob job. It's the fact that she lied about it and told people she did it for fun. Teaching young women that you're doing it for fun and that it's not really a big deal. Going under the knife is a big deal. I don't care what people say. Oh, it should be as normalized as lip liner. If you're wearing makeup, what's the difference? People even comparing it to my piercings. Some morons telling me that my piercings, what's the difference? Because they leave permanent holes. Newsflash, they don't leave permanent holes. I've had piercings in other places of my face that have come out and they haven't left permanent holes. You've never seen a permanent hole in my face. You can't see a hole in my face where I had other piercings. They don't leave permanent holes unless you stretch them, for example. And talking about piercings on of someone who has never told people not to get piercings is ridiculous. That analogy would work if I had said, wow, don't get piercings because it ruins your body, and then I got piercings. Sometimes people's arguments are just so poor. I assume it's because either they haven't thought it through properly or they're just stupid, and I'll probably go with both of them, to be honest. You can't build an audience based off of a set of beliefs. Well, you can. Here's the thing, you can do whatever you want. No one's stopping you, as we can see. But you can't expect people not to criticize. Oh, why do you care, Katie? Because think of all those literally millions and millions and millions and millions of her followers were girls who have flat chests who followed her to feel better about themselves. Now, yeah, it's not her responsibility entirely, but you have to be honest. You have to be honest. Oh, I got a boob job because I hated my flat chest. Simple as. You didn't get it for fun. And now the OF has just added this entire layer where it's like, you are genuinely just becoming really unlikable. And yeah, you know, people are going to not like that. Oh, you're saying that because she's doing OF, she's unlike. Yeah, actually, I am saying that because she's doing OF, she's unlikable. Because it's just so weird. Body positive, very nice, lovely, sweet, normal girl gets a boob job and all of a sudden rage baits about OF and pretends to be younger than she is for money. Yeah, that's so likable.
A lot of people ask me, Clara, why did you start an OF? I thought you're rich and you come from a rich family. You don't need the money. Yes, that's true. I come from a family that probably don't have to work and I'll be fine for the rest of my life. And
That's actually a really interesting element to this. So I didn't know she came from a rich family, right? But that makes a lot of sense now because looking back at the reason she got a boob job in the first place and not worrying what that would do to her social media career, that makes a lot of sense because I, for a while, thought, why would you take that risk? You know, why would you take that risk? Your social media is your income. Your social media is your job. Are you not worried that having a boob job and then losing loads of followers, because she really lost a lot of followers, like, were you not worried that that's going to affect your income? But if she doesn't need to work and never needs to work, then okay, it's all starting to make a lot of sense. When you don't have to worry about money because there's no consequences, you can be as much of a dick as you want to be because it doesn't matter if the internet hates you and drives you off because you can live off of mummy and daddy's money. You know, it's as simple as. So I'm interested to hear what explanation she's given as to why she's done an OF.
already made a name for myself doing social media.
Correction, you made a name for yourself by building a platform off of people who looked to you for reassurance about being born with a flat chest. Again, that didn't have to be like that, but you built that career. You built that.
For 7 years, live very comfortably, have a really good life. I am just rebellious. There's something inside of
Oh, you're so rebellious. Rebellious isn't starting an OnlyFans, you idiot. Oh my god, it's the opposite of rebellious. You're giving in to the patriarchy. I can't think of anything more not rebellious. You've just bowed down and been like, yeah, here we are. This is what society wants of me, to sell my body. This is what men want. Now men are going to jerk off to me and come as they look at my body and then forget I exist a second later. Wow, rebellious as you know, think about the suffragettes, the feminists that fought for our rights. They're not rebellious. Clara Dao. Clara Dao is the definition of rebellious because she gets her nipples out on OF. And then OF donate a massive chunk of their money to the IDF. Wow! Rebellion! So rebellious, girly pop. Those last brain cells, yeah, I'm really seeing it now.
me, in my blood. I can't change it. Something inside me just wants to go against every social norm and what people.
Oh my god, I'm cracking up. I'm really looking forward to cracking up. Social norm, babe. Look around, mate. Bonnie Blue is 1,000 men in one day. Lily Phillips 100 men. Then she did the anal challenge or whatever it was called. You've got Julia Filippo pretending to be a child. You've got Camilla doing whatever the Camilla does. Like, you've got a house called the Bop House. Don't talk to me about breaking social norms. You know, I would argue I'm breaking social norms by talking out against the industry, right? And being met with accusations of misogyny, extremism, people calling me a woman hater, people saying that I have women's blood on my hands. Correction, I have the blood of prostitutes who have been murdered by men on my hands. You know that I get told things like that every day. In my DMs, I get paragraphs about how the blood of dead women who work in the trade is on my hands. You know, I would say me continuing to post videos about this subject, despite the absolute vitriolic hate I get in my DMs, would be considered rebellious. I don't think you flashing the packages for some money when you don't need to because you literally have a rich family constitutes as rebellious. What's the meaning of rebellious? Let me search it up and we'll see. Does Clara Dao fit into that meaning? Rebellious describes someone who refuses to obey rules, authority, or social standards. Oh, yes, there's nothing more rebellious than only. There's nothing more like refusing rules than submitting to having men jerk off to you for money. Yeah, wow, rebellious. Shut up, me. We're only 39 seconds into this 3-minute video. I'm so sorry, guys, I've got no patience today. Also, I'll talk more about it later. You can't really see. My 100k plaques there. We'll get onto that at the end.
Will expect of me, but I'm not supposed to do. I want to do that. In the beginning, when I first started out creating content, nobody was making flat-chested content, okay, on the internet. Nobody was making flat-chested content. Maybe some, but like not as many as I did.
Guys, if you need someone to be your new flat-chested person to look up to, okay, I'm not quite where Clara was at, but I mean, we're close. We haven't got much going on down there. All right, you need someone to look up to. I'm your girl. Because we're not packing much up there. And guess what? It's fine. It is fine. There's no. It does not matter. All right. So if you're watching this and you're feeling me, I also am a fellow small boob girl, and it's fine. We're more than our tits, guys. All right. We are more than our tits. Do continue, Clara. I'm loving the logic. You're sending me to sleep, my friend.
And I really made it my thing. I loved it. I loved making flat-chested video, helping people feel better about themselves. And after 6 years of doing that, 6 years, 900 videos, of course, you would get bored. Of course, right? So I got bored and I was thinking to myself, with my rebellious brain, what would people not expect from me?
Do not push my buttons today, actually. Shut up. You are so full of This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, okay? Now, I don't think you even believe this, alright? This is the highest level of copium I have ever encountered. Oh, I got bored of doing flat-chested content and I thought, what could I do that is rebellious? I might be lost for words a little bit. I might be a little bit lost for words.
And the answer is very obvious to me. A boob job. So that's exactly what I did. Even in the beginning, my family...
In case anyone doesn't know or hasn't figured out yet, she got a boob job because she didn't like having a flat chest. I don't know why we're pretending it's any other reason. Nobody gets plastic surgery for fun. Nobody does that. And there's no shame in being insecure. I talked about this last time. We're in such a world where there is high expectations on us for our body image, especially women. Now, women have dealt with our bodies being treated as trends. It used to be kind of heroin chic. We had the Kate Moss. Is that her name? Kate Moss? Kate Moss? Am I right? Maybe. You know, model, skinny, and then it was BBL stuff, and then it was no BBLs anymore, and just big boobs, small butt, and then it's big butts, small boobs, and then it's a nose job, and then it's blah, blah, blah. You know, it's in and out of fashion, right? So I don't shame women for feeling like they need to submit to these beauty ideals. I don't think it's productive to shame women for saying, why would you do that, blah, 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 because it's very, very complex, especially because we think about stuff like gender affirming care. So if you're a trans person getting a boob job, for example, why is it any different to if a woman has a flat chest and she really wants a boob job, right? To feel gender affirmed. I can understand also the difficulties with that conversation because also women are not just boobs. Your womanhood is more than just your tits, right? I think we all agree on that. That's what I'm saying. It's a very complex, nuanced discussion to get into. It's not as simple as just saying, you got plastic surgery, you bad. But in this specific scenario, I believe that you have to follow a set of ethical standards in situations like this and not just to your audience because it's boring.
Family was so against me doing flat-chested content, showing my supposed flaw on the internet. They were so against that. But that kind of gave me the satisfaction of going against what people want for me. I don't know if you can relate to this, babe. Like the rebellious side of me it's just there. It's just there. And it's just who I am. So after having the boob job, I tried out a bunch of different types of content, just having fun, right? Like did gym content, beauty content, lifestyle content, and I all had fun doing that. And then after 1 year, it occurred to me, my rebellious side comes out again and it's like, what's next, Clara? What's the next thing that you can do to challenge the norm? Because that's what I love doing.
Stop saying that.
And I realized that, you know what? I haven't tried being a Bob. I haven't tried being an internet thought. And that...
Oh my lord. Oh my actual lord. You also haven't tried being a lawyer or a doctor or a builder or an astronaut or a swimmer or a weightlifter or a snooker player champion or a darts player or a tunneler or I don't know anything. You haven't tried any of that. Why is it that you believe that it's either women focus on content around their insecurities or they become a bop? Where's the middle ground? You don't need to do one, do you? Because you've got loads of money. This is actually like so otherworldly. Like what the is going on?
That is so looked down upon, that is so stigmatized, that's definitely a taboo. People don't like when girls do that.
There's a reason though, okay? I mean, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to say, oh, there's men out there that'll call me a and a for doing this. And what the men think, no, actually, babes, because the majority of the men are jerking off to you. I actually don't know what to say because there's so much going through my head that it's actually difficult to form a coherent thought. It is not rebellious to sell your body. I don't like anybody that's watching this and thinks, yeah, yes, queen, clock it. No, there's a lot of rebellious things you can do in this day and age. Talk about politics. Yeah, really go ham on politics, really try and push a political agenda that you believe in. You could stand up for women's rights. You could stand up for the rights of people of color. I don't know. Do something rebellious. Stand up against MAGA. I don't know. Go on, what do you call it? Go to riot. Go to protests. There's nothing to say about this.
And so that's why I did OF. for fun. It's just who I am. This is who I am. Like, I do things for fun. And I don't take life seriously. This is no way promoting OF or doing OF to any girls. In no way. This is my life. This is my life story and this is my personal decision. This is definitely not cut out for most people.
There is this wave of OF girls now thinking that just by saying, oh, it's not for everyone, that this makes them some heroic I'm genuinely sick of it. And people be like, relatable queen, because like an OF girl would just say, this isn't for everyone, it has its pros and cons. It's like, okay, all right, yeah. But then that's all you talk about. That's all your content, just talking about your OF job. I don't buy into it. Now you might say, Katie, well, what do you want them to do? Because you're saying, you know, you need to be honest about stuff. And I just don't like the fleeting, oh, it's not for everyone comments, because it feels like virtue signaling. It feels like you don't really care that actually maybe stuff like this might be influencing people, especially when you're not being honest about why you're doing it. Nobody does OF for fun. No one does it for fun. And if you are doing it for fun, then I honestly think you need to get some help, to be honest.
People would not enjoy this job. But I enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I love it. I enjoyed it. It fits my personality. It suits me so much. In my head, I was like, damn, I wish I did this earlier.
It's also funny because it seems to suit you so much now that you've got big boobs. I think this is such a weird, like, series of events. Flat-chested girl, very reserved content, very nice, chill, whatever. Big boobs, OF, all of a sudden it suits your personality. Unless your boobs are your personality, I don't really get what you're talking about.
I enjoy it. But yeah, that's the reason. I'm not sure how long I will do it, to be honest. I guess I'll do it as long as it's still fun to me. A girl just want to have fun.
Yeah, girls just want to have fun.
I've never seen this much money in my life, you guys. I risked my whole career for this and it's so worth it. It's been...
I know this is rage bait because she shows a check with £10 on it, right? Not the point. It's kind of, I don't know, there's multiple levels of weird to this because first of all, you didn't risk your career because it seems like you're an Epo baby or whatever you call them. Second of all, you're going on about how it's life-changing and the check's £10. I just don't find that very funny when there's so many women in this industry that have literally no choice and are making close to £10. The joke here is what? You do OF for a tenner? That's a lot of people's reality, mate. There's nothing funny about that. Again, it's just more content to push her OF. Mood because 15 days until the internet loses it again. Why are you putting a random child in a countdown video of you wetting your clothes to promote your OF? And people are saying, is that her daughter? I don't think it's her daughter, but it doesn't matter who it is. This is a video to promote your OF and you're filming yourself wetting your clothes, right? And let's not be naive here. She's trying to be sexy. That's the whole bit. And a thirst trap about your OF, you're putting a child there. You have something so mentally not right with you. Like, I think you're losing reality of what's normal. And I think this is what happens when you do rage bait content for a living. You lose track of what's normal. You lose track. I think she just lost the plot. I think she's just lost the plot.
Guys, you wouldn't believe what I got in the mail today. It's my first only paycheck. Can't wait to show you how much I made my first month. Oh my god,
yeah,
you guys.
Another joke.
It is so...
Another joke about it being £10? $10 or something. It's nothing funny, but it's just not funny. I don't know, guys. I'm kind of sick of this now. It's like, can we have some decorum? She's so weird. Like, there's nothing really much else to say other than you're so weird. You went from being like a completely different person to this. There's just been this weird switch, and it's actually impossible to tell which one was real. Who is the real you? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I'm done, guys. I'm done. Thank you very much for watching. Hang on. Also, I mean, I'm now on 262k or something like that. But YouTube there I am. Ooh. YouTube finally gave me my 100k award. And I've done a video for my second channel, which will be out of me unboxing and talking about it. But I thought I'd just say here that I'm really, really, really grateful. And I know I hit 100k ages ago, but seeing the plaque really made me happy and really grateful, and I could not have done it without you guys. And yeah, I just thought I'd take a moment to thank you all because it's been a really crazy couple of years and I'm just so happy to finally get my award, and thank you to YouTube for finally giving it to me. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.